Let me start by giving a quick shout out to my wife, Dr. Mrs. Lara Atitolo. And also a special one to my classmates of the UICOM 1989 class. Please stand up if you're here. And with the kind of relationship that we have in our class, where we are like siblings, I couldn't tell them no. So here we are today. Now, as a member of the EXCO, I'm the incoming president. I've been on the EXCO now for a few years. I can say that one of our most challenging duty is selecting the special alumnus speaker for the year. Because if we, Ortez, I didn't mention you, I didn't see you there. One of my classmates too. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Ortez. In a college of excellent people, we have the huge challenge of picking up somebody that will be a special alumnus for that year. And anyone here, we can just pick any of the alumni here. You can very well stand there and be a special alumnus speaker for any year. So for someone to be picked as the distinguished alumnus speaker for the year, you have to go over and beyond. And so I'm going to start introducing the special speaker tonight with a smile. Because I'm going to mention the word periodontist. They are the people that make you smile. And I actually want to really smile because I pay for this. They're mine. Can show it up. Some of them, not all. Getting to that age. So, our distinguished alumnus speaker for 2026 is a diplomat of the American Board of Periodontologists and Implantology. He is a board-certified periodontist. He serves as founder and CEO of Covenant Excel Group, which is a parent company to multiple dental practices in San Antonio, Texas. And he is a 2005 BDS graduate of our prestigious University of Ibadan College of Medicine. And he also earned his DDS at University of Texas Health Sciences in San Antonio. That was in 2009. And in the same institution, he did his fellowship in periodontics and the implantologist. Currently, he's an assistant professor at the same institution. He's a member of the American Academy of Periodontologists. And I'm just smiling. All right. He's a proud husband to his wife. She's not here with us tonight, Chidima, and they have 3 beautiful children. And everything I have said is only one half of the story. There is a part that I didn't even know. That our distinguished speaker for this year, Dr. John Anemike, is also a reverend pastor. Of the Bethel Covenant Church in San Antonio, and we are so proud of all your accomplishments, and is a special honor for me to introduce you tonight. You're welcome, Dr. Nimiso.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Thank you for that very kind introduction. Thank you. Thank you. Words are not enough to express my profound gratitude for the honor and privilege accorded me today to be honored with this great award. And it's a privilege. I don't consider it a right. And I believe I'm the least of everyone here. And just thank you. Just being here in the room and just being able to see people that have paved the way for the things that we enjoy. We stand on the shoulders of fathers and great mentors, and I want to say thank you for every sacrifice and every input that has been made in the College of Medicine. Thank you so much. I must first start by saying thank you to the Lord for the privilege to be here and for joining mercies and for making my schedule available amongst the many things going on. I want to thank our president. Thank you so much. For just some reason, I can't not fail to respond to your messages. Amongst the messages, you have a special grace, I can tell you. I get to receive about, I kid you not, over 200 or 300 text messages a day, just by virtue of the positions that we occupy and the people that we serve. But when I see yours, I have to stop and have to respond. Thank you. And so thank you so much. Standing on existing protocol, good evening, everybody. And again, I want to thank God for life. I want to thank the ICOMA president, Dr. Modupe Shokumbi, the president of ICOMA Worldwide. We met briefly at the hotel with your lovely wife. Thank you for all you do. The vice president, the president-elect, the ICOMA alumni executives, the provost of the College of Medicine. I honor you. The CMD, it's good to see you again, and thank you for the good work that you do. Our leaders, the founding fathers, mentors, teachers, colleagues. I see a lot of friends, colleagues that we all went to school together. Thank you so much. I've not seen many of you in over 20 years, so it's good to get to see you again. The selection committee, the executives that chose me. In fact, when I got the news, I first of all thought it was a lie or something. I was like, it can't be possible. Who am I, But thank you. And I got a call from the president. I got a call from Dr. Tony Anani, who is a great mentor and friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for Dr. Botosh and your wife, who was also a colleague in school. Thank you. It's humbling, and I'm grateful. And my lifestyle is a lifestyle of gratitude. In fact, I wrote a book called The Power of Gratitude, and if I need to summarize my life, everything about me is thank you. So please forgive me if I say thank you a million times, if it's okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to stand today to receive this award, but I want to dedicate it to God first, to my parents, to my wife and my beautiful children, and to my wonderful teachers from the University of Ibadan College of Medicine, both on the medical side and the dental side, and also to everyone who's paved the way and supported me through the journey that I'm here today. Of course, I'm a product of multiple graces. Forgive me if I speak like a pastor. That's That's my evening and weekend job. Just like the Bible talks about gifts and calling. Tonight is a special night. And I want to say thank you for choosing someone in the dental profession to be here, which is quite rare. Yeah. So, on behalf of my big professors, mentors, and aunties and uncles in the dental profession, thank you, because you paved the way for me, little me, to stand here today. If I were to title my speech, I'll title it Helped from Grass to Grace to Legacy. My story is a story of divine help by God, and I mean it by every sense of the word. That if anyone had ever told me I will be where I am and be able to experience some of the things I've experienced, I would not believe it, because of basically the antecedents that occurred in my life. And my hope is that as I share my little story, it gives you a little perspective about where I'm coming from, and to highlight that, I'm just a child that was held by God, and I'm here today being able to be in the room because God helped me, and God used very important people to help me. I honor all the past recipients of this meritorious award. I thank them for paving the way for many of us who follow behind. If I were to group this talk in parts, I'll group it in three parts. First, grass. I started from very humble beginnings. I was born in the city of Benin in 1980, the fifth of 6 children born to Reverend Christian and Rosaline Anamiki. Our parents raised us with 2 simple principles: fear God, work hard. And my folks were very big on education. My dad was a pastor. My mom was a primary school teacher. And so we were taught that education was not optional, and certainly excellence was non-negotiable. Although originally we're from Delta State, my roots trace back to a very small village, probably not in the map of Nigeria, but it's in Nigeria. It's called Okunzu. But if I put it in context, some of you will be able to remember or relate. We belong to a little Olukumi-speaking tribe. It's the unique Yoruba-speaking people in Igbo land. All right. So that's how unique I am. I'm all mixed up, sorry. So from an early age, I learned the values of faith, service, extreme generosity, and love. And then, this shaped my life because I saw my father did all that. My mom also did that. And we were always in the business of helping people. As life went on, things going very well with my family. My dad became a national pastor at a very young age. Things dramatically changed. Life changed for us. And at 41, my dad passed with a sudden heart attack. Not sick. On January 5th, 1987, I was just 6 years of age. I saw him lay on the floor. Looking back now, it was cardiac arrest. And today, my elder sister, that inspired her to become a cardiologist. So hearing you talk, I just wish she was in the room, because she could relate to everything. At least with my limited knowledge, I know a few things, but I can really thank you for the great speech. My mom was 29 years old with 6 children, all under the age of 12. And this picture that you see there was taken 5 days before my dad passed. Life became extremely difficult. And there were days we didn't know where our next meal would come from. Friends disappeared. All my father's colleagues were distant. Opportunities became very rare. And one would have sensed that, well, it's a church, so the church should take care. But I tell you, most of the people that helped us were not actually church members. The future looked uncertain. My mom, though very beautiful, would have remarried, and we saw several men come to the house wanting to ask for her hand in marriage. But she made a promise to us and to God that my dad was extremely kind to her, and that the last sacrifice she could give to him, even in death, was to make sure that his children were well trained and his wish was fulfilled. And so my mom made that sacrifice as a school teacher. As you know, back then, school teachers in Benin City, you get old salary for 12 months, and if you get paid, you get paid a fraction of that. And by the time you get a check, it's of no value. But God helped us. So, they brought us to the village, but my mom refused that we stay in the village, because if we stay in the village, we won't have the ability to compete with our colleagues. So she brought us back to Benin City, and we remain committed to education. And today, by the grace of God, all 6 children, the least is with a master's degree, and 3 of us have become doctors. That's the power of faith, sacrifice, and perseverance, and I really want to thank Mom. She stays with me now, and I love her to death, and I'm grateful. A key virtue, I feel, that we all need: faith, sacrifice, and perseverance in all our life endeavors, because life can throw you a curveball. It really can. And no matter the challenges that you face, you must learn to be resilient and never give up. The second part of my talk is grace. And when God writes a better story, and sometimes the best stories that God will write about us is not when everything is good and rosy. My journey to the University of Ibadan, which I think it's a very great one. I remember when I got the news that I'd gained admission to the University of Ibadan, I was so excited that I didn't remember the road I used to walk back home. That was how excited I was. And I remember, my elder sister, Esther Anemeke, who is now Esther Oyehoin. She graduated year 2000. She gained admission before me into medicine. And I decided to follow her footsteps, because one day I woke up. I said, you're in Ibadan. You're such a beautiful sister, and I feel like one day one man is going to see you and just marry you. And then I never get the time to hang out with you. So I said, I'm going to Ibadan. I'm not going to University of Benin. And I kid you not, that's one of the best decisions I've ever taken. Yes. So determining her footsteps, I decided to go to University of Ibadan. Medicine was my first choice. Dentistry was my second choice. But what I thought was my second choice became God's perfect choice. And sometimes we want something so bad, but God knows what is best for us, because his ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. I'm about to collect an offering right now. Thank you. As the saying goes, every disappointment is a blessing. And for me, I was just privileged to be in the medical sciences. And I vowed by the grace of God to be the best I could be and to be a blessing to everyone in my sphere of influence. That was my vow. It didn't really matter whether you're in dentistry, physiotherapy, medicine. If you're excellent at what you do, you'll stand out. And looking back today, I can clearly see that the Lord was directing my steps. I kid you not, I don't know if I would be who I am today if not for God, my family, and really the University of Ibadan, honestly. I'm so grateful that I came to the West. Sincerely grateful. Because I learned a lot of things in Ibadan. I learned life. I learned humility. I learned love. I learned respect. I learned true values. You know, I will never forget, you know, my first surgery rotation, it was my ENT rotation, and it was Professor Ijadola that he spent the 6 hours. I was hoping to get into ENT, and he didn't spend any time talking about ENT. I was so upset. I talked about life. I talked about, you know, why you here? Where are you from? I said, from Benin. Omoibo. Okay, where are you from? You know how he would talk. And he said something, and he said, you know, do you know how many schools you passed on your way to come to Ibadan? Well, it was a lot of schools. So why did you come? We said, because Ibadan is the first and the best. And he told us, so how many of you can speak Yoruba? I said, what has that got to do with ENT? And so he said, what's the first thing you can tell about the people? The language. And you must identify with the people. And language is beyond just what you speak. It's how you act, how you behave. And said you can never be a good doctor if you can't identify with the people. More so, how can you get your medical history if you can't communicate? And before that time, I'd been in Ibadan for 4 years. I couldn't speak a lick of Yoruba. I kid you not, in 6 months, I was fluent. And he inspired me so well that I used my Yoruba skills in Bodija market and got free fishes. I got a lot of favors, and I kid you not. And it made me love the people, made me fall in love. I didn't know that God was working on me. So I fell in love with Ibadan. Until today, I really don't have any relative in Ibadan, but I must go to Ibadan. Because I fell in love with the city, that I became a part of the city. And I didn't know that God was training me for San Antonio. It's a complete language place. And so the same love I transferred to San Antonio. And when you love a city and you be a part of the city, the blessings of the city comes to you. And so from when that happened was when I was able to succeed in Ibadan, became UADS president. I became loved by the faculty, loved by the people. I can tell you on and on. And that I see has helped me every day in my practice, every day in the way I do business, every day in the way I conduct myself, and in the way I do ministry and do life. And so I saw that God was directing my steps. And midway into my training, something great happened. We won the visa lottery in 2001, and my mom won it. And talking about help, till today, I don't think my mom has seen the person that put her name in it. My mom just suddenly found that she won. Who put her name? It was my sister's classmate in UI. My mom did not even sign the signature. So when we got to the visa interview, she didn't know what she signed. But talking about help, papers were flinging in the visa interview, and suddenly I said, you know what, can I help my mom? And they said, oh yeah, you can help your mom. And while I was helping my mom, the woman mistakenly threw out the signature paper. So I told my mom, this is what you signed. and went back. I didn't even know. And if she didn't sign it, we will be here. So sometimes, in the midst of chaos, help is on the way. So we arrived in Dallas, Fort Worth, a day to 9/11. So I woke up in the morning, seeing the planes going. I thought it was a movie. But it was really an attack. In fact, because I turned on the TV first, even our host did not know that the U.S. was under attack. And many of you would have been here at the time. When you look back, that was right about when ICOMA-NA was formed, 25 years ago. So when I came in the midst of chaos, ICOMA was formed. So I shuttled back between Nigeria and the US because I was a bit of my training. I went back. And I was able to finish my dental training, served as the UADS president, served as the national vice president of NADS, graduated from the University of Ibadan, and came back to the United States. And the program for the International Dentist Program started in San Antonio, and still the only program for foreign dentists in Texas. Coincidentally, I'm still the only Nigerian male that has gone through the program since its inception for over 22 years. Which is scary, but I believe that's going to change. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to be a faculty in the school. Not because I'm not busy enough. I'm already busy, but I told myself, if God helped me, I must help somebody. So, if you permit me, we just recently had a dental student or a new dentist from the University of Ibadan that just gained admission, and she's a lady. So, well, we're going to take the ladies' part because ladies first before guys. So, maybe the next time I come, I'll tell you about the story of the guy that's going to come in. I was very fortunate to get into the residency program for periodontics. First black male to go through the residency program for periodontics and implant dentistry, and still the only black male that's a periodontist in Texas. Talk about help. And how did I get in? I was working as a dental assistant for a periodontist that graduated from San Antonio. And you know, we were taught, if an elder is carrying a bag, go grab the bag. So my Ibadan instinct kicked in. I bowed before the guy that came to give the lecture, said, please, can I help you with the bag? I took the bag. And the wife looked and said, who is this guy? He's such a humble guy. Well, I didn't know that was the program director of the residency program. And so by the time he was done and I applied, when he saw my application, he said, well, your grades may not be perfect, but your attitude is. And sometimes attitude can give you what aptitude can't. So that's how I got into the residency program. And I'm grateful. Again, I'm talking about health. And so I was able to finish the program, and today, by the grace of God, I'm a board-certified periodontist. Also became a board-certified implantologist. That's a diplomate to the glory of God. And even though I was involved heavily in ministry, I still made up my mind that I wasn't going to allow ministry to stop my dentistry. I didn't want to use the excuse of ministry to be a mediocre. So I told God, if you would allow me, I will be the best in both worlds and represent you. And I'm grateful that he's given me the opportunity to do that. Today, by the grace of God, I serve humbly as the CEO of multiple healthcare organizations. I still practice actively 5 days a week. I've been blessed to impact lives through healthcare, through business, through mentorship, through teaching, and through community service, which, by the grace of God, half of my resources goes to the community. And that's a commitment my wife and I made. By the grace of God, my wife is a full professor of medicine at UT Health. So the medicine I didn't get, my wife got it. So one day the Lord told me in the place of prayer, do you know that prayer you wanted to be a physician so bad? I said, yeah. He said, I answered the prayer. I said, Lord, you did it. No, he said, no, yeah, I did. I said, no, you didn't. He said, but your wife is a physician. She's not Dr. Ademiki. I said, yes. He said, well, you got the degree without going through medical school. So I guess the wife or the husband of a doctor is a doctor, right? Today, I'm privileged to also be in ministry. I'm almost done. I promise you I'll be out of here in a little bit. So today, with my wife, we started a church in 2013 as if we were not busy enough. But you know, when the call of God is upon your life, you tend to understand that your life is greater than self. And every man must achieve something greater than self. And money is not the best motivation. So we started with 9 people in my living room. And to the glory of God, we've grown to 1,600 people, representing 51 nations. You talk about Caucasians, Latinos, people from everywhere. And I'm still your brother from Ibadan. And we're still doing the good work, both in the medical field and in ministry. Finally, the last part of my talk is that grace requires gratitude. And it's about giving back. It's about giving back. So one day while I was practicing in clinic, it was such a busy day. So on average, I'll say like my surgery day is about maybe 6 or 7 surgeries. Starts at 7 a.m., ends at 5 p.m. And 99% of my patients are Caucasians. 99%. Grateful. So sometimes I sit back and I'm like, I'm a black guy in Texas. What would make people trust me? But I discovered that, just like the scripture says, let your light so shine before men. They will see your good works. And people will tell you, because when people see love and see excellence, they don't see color. And so I became so emotional in the middle of my practice about 5 years ago. How far God had brought me, and I remember it's almost like a flashback, and I saw my humble beginnings and how I got here, and I said, no, I gotta do better. I can't just be here. Just like if you know the story of David, he sat down and like, if I don't get this right, something is wrong with me. So I made up my mind that gratitude must become generosity. And that I can't keep too much to myself. After all, the bigger the house, the less you stay in it. The bigger the house, the more quiet the neighborhood is. And the neighborhood is quiet because people are trying to pay the mortgage. So my wife and I made up our mind that we'll commit ourselves to giving back. And we were going to do that at all costs. Not at the detriment of our children, but we know that we don't need too much to survive. After all, we'll eat what we need to eat. And these days, the cardiologists don't want us to eat too much. Or you, the physicians. So, we decided to support students, support our alma mater, support the University of Ibadan, And I know sometimes the dean or the school would wonder why we give the way we give. And I'm talking about really, I made up my mind one of those times that my entire 2 months' salary was going to go to UI. And to the glory of God, we did to impact generations to come. I want to end the conversation tonight with a quote that I have in my living room, and I've had it for the past 14 years. And it's by Winston Churchill. And he said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." With this, I say thank you, and God bless you.
And I think all of us are saying thank you for accepting to be our distinguished alumni speaker for year 2026. Yes. Talking about digging a well for the next generation. ICOMA is into that business. Right. We're into community. And majority of us here know about the endowment fund. And we can't wait to put $3,000 each in the next couple weeks. We'll be sending you the information for that. So thank you. We are all inspired, and we give glory to God for bringing you here tonight. You make it worth it that we are here tonight because you are honoring God. And so we have this little award for you, and to say thank you for being a distinguished alumnus. And also we'll be giving you a plaque. Where the camera folks. All right, we'll direct